Jack in the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, a boy named Jack lived with his frail elderly mother and their even frailer and more elderly cow, Bessie. Jack's mother was unable to work, which meant the family never had any money. They barely had the means to afford food each week. Jack, we've run out of money and resources, his mother said at last. We have no choice but to sell old Bessie down at the market. The next day, Jack woke early and walked Bessie down to the market at the center of town. Be sure to fetch a fair price for her, his mother called after him. Jack had only been at the market a few moments when a strange old man approached him. Say, the old man began, are you selling that old cow? I am, Jack confirmed. She's old, but she's worth a good price. If you give me that cow, the old man said, I'll give you these 3 magic beans. Magic beans? Jack asked with wonder. Quite magical, the old man said. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Jack was quite taken by the man's proposition, and so he handed over Bessie's reins. He placed the beans in his pocket and ran all the way home. Jack's mother was waiting by the door when he arrived. That didn't take long, she exclaimed. I'm sad to see the old girl go, but it'll be worth it to keep us fed. How much did you get for her? 3 magic beans, Jack said, taking the beans from his pocket. Magic beans? Exclaimed his mother. You foolish boy! How will we feed ourselves on 3 beans and with winter just a few weeks away? But they're magical, Jack insisted. Yes, they've magically gotten you sent to your room, his mother said. Go there and don't come out all night. Jack trudged off to his room, angry that his mother did not believe him. She'll see that they're magic, he thought, tossing the beans out his window before going to bed. In the morning, Jack rushed to the window. Sure enough, a giant beanstalk had grown from the beans. It stretched so high into the sky that he could not see the top of it. Ha! This will prove to Mother that I'm not foolish. Before his mother even awoke, Jack raced down the stairs and began to climb the beanstalk. He climbed and climbed to the very top, and there, high above the clouds, Jack discovered a magnificent castle in the sky. This will be my golden ticket, Jack thought. I'll find treasures here to feed Mother and myself for years. However, Jack had barely crept inside the door when he heard a voice bellowing down the hall. Jack froze and peered around the wall and down the hallway. There, at the end of the hallway, sat an enormous giant. On the chair next to him sat a hen that had just laid an enormous golden egg. In the giant's lap was a majestic golden harp. Suddenly, the giant set the harp down and stood up, sniffing the air around him. Fee, fi, fo, fum, the giant hollered. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. The giant turned toward where Jack was cowering behind a wall and began to walk, each step rumbling like thunder and shaking the floor. Jack had to think fast. The giant was huge, but the boy had speed on his side. Instead of leaving through the door by which he had entered, Jack raced toward the giant and passed him. The giant was taken off guard, clearly expecting Jack to run out instead of in. Jack grabbed the hen and golden harp and sprinted back to the front door of the castle. Jack heard the giant chasing after him as quickly as he could. Luckily, Jack was much faster. He scampered down the beanstalk and raced to the barn. He placed the harp and hen on the ground and grabbed an axe. Just as the giant was about to reach the top of the beanstalk to climb down, Jack began to hack away at it with the axe. He hacked, and finally the beanstalk fell to the ground, straining the giant in the sky. Jack gathered up the hen and harp and ran to his stunned mother. They stood together in their front yard. I told you the beans were magic, Mother, he said. Aided by the hen's golden eggs, Jack and his mother lived happily ever after and were even able to buy back Bessie, the cow.